Stonewall. Jesse. Okay, your question is, how can we attract new businesses to Wabasca?
Well, I guess the one main way to is for tax services to them. Make it affordable for them to come here, so they can start a business. You know, maybe for new business, give them some kind of grant, something that will attract them, and we do. We had one of the things is we don't promote our community, our MD enough. Everybody you see on TV, all these other counties and stuff, they promote themselves really hard. They attract people, and that's what we have to do.
Jesse.
I believe two things. I believe we should work a little harder with TELUS, a little harder with the gas companies and the electric companies to secure that we have infrastructure. In my store in Slave, I've had a brownout once. In my store in Wabasca, I have one about every 2 months. So one thing I would urge is for the MD to really work with the different facilities on that. The other one would I believe we should have a chamber of commerce. I've been in many other communities where it doesn't have to be an official chamber of commerce. Even if it's just where you get a group of people together that new businesses can come talk to, or other businesses that are interested in going to the community can talk to and say, hey, what's this? We have this. And one thing, if elected, I would actually, on my volunteer time or through the MD, work to facilitate Chamber of Commerce.
Thanks, Jesse. Follow-ups, Mike, Don. Both quick on the draw. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I think to increase businesses in Wabasca, we need more education for young people. I think there's a lot of residents in Wabasca that really want to have their own business, and they have great ideas, but they simply just don't know how to get started. If we had some education, well, I'll tell a story. When I first moved to Wabasca, I tried to open a little carpet cleaning business just on the side, and it was going pretty good, but where it failed was I just didn't have the ability to do the financial part. I didn't know the bookkeeping part. And if that had been offered somewhere, not just high school, but perhaps at the college, I could have learned how to do that, and I might be successful in my business. But since I just didn't know how to do that, aside from hardwood floors and leather couches, my business didn't really do that well.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, first of all, I think we need an economic development officer here to promote and bring business in. And also to get a new business, then you have to give them tax breaks. If a developer develops land, you don't let them pay taxes until the land is sold. Break the developer, nobody wants to develop land and have that burden on them all the time. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Okay, next to Marcel. Jason. Hey, what can the MD do to support affordable housing and seniors housing? Good, Marcel.
All right. So in regards to seniors housing and affordable housing, it's really important at this point. That's a provincial mandate, and that's something that we found over the years. The MD has done even more than its part all the time in making sure that there is affordable housing, that these programs continue to roll. I think it's important that we continue to work with the province as well as our neighbors. Big Stone with the 4 communities we share with them. Peerless Trout with the 2 communities we have there as well, and and come up with ways that we can approach province and federal government to do different initiatives, whether it be additional housing, if it's housing complexes, for what we need to support the people within our community. So I really think it's a partnership thing that we need to go do moving forward. It's the province as well as our First Nation neighbors and get those programs ongoing and growing and making money amongst themselves so that we're not, it's not a constant drain, but it's actually bringing money back into that program as it moves forward. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question?
What can the MD do to support affordable housing and seniors housing?
For seniors housing, I've heard a couple of people that are used to have the seniors benefit where the taxes, they had a tax break on stuff, and there was a few seniors that were mentioning that that tax break is not there. I'm not too sure if it's still there. They had a few glitches. I know seniors, like I said, for senior housing, I have the luxury of being living in my grandmother's home right now. She was given a home years ago, and the maintenance and everything that she got over the years really did benefit her. She was on the assisted living for most of her life, and it helped her out quite a bit. And eventually, that should also be for everybody right now too, to have more assistance for the renovations or anything else that's happening in the community. A lot of people, the first thing they'll say is, well, senior, they have children. Maybe the children are responsible. As a community, we have to help our seniors also. They are struggling. They are people that we have to respect. They are people who we look up to. And they do deserve a break at some point. As far as assisted living and what's that? Subsidized housing. As a homeowner who purchased his own home on his own, it's a two-way street. The value of my home decreases with the more assisted living homes that are in the area, and it's people who are trying to sell their homes are having a tough time because now you can get a home for next to nothing when you get those homes built for you at next to nothing when it comes in at next to nothing cost. And we lose value on our homes as homeowners. I do appreciate that there are people out there that require help, but a lot of times it's, is it going to the right people? Is it going to the people who really deserve to have those homes and require help in that way? I think a better give, like for people who really deserve those homes, I think a better application process would actually help in that manner. Like I said, as a homeowner, we do see our value of our homes decreasing, as I'm sure a lot of you homeowners have seen out there in the past. You can see in the 40 lot, people are selling their homes for next to nothing because of the assisted living out there that's happening in the community.
Okay, Robin, Mike.
Thanks, Dave. But housing is such a serious issue in our communities, and I agree 100% with Jason. Those who can afford to pay rent or buy their own homes, they're not the ones we need to be helping. We need to be helping those who can't. Like I say, I knew a house that had 24 people in it. That's unacceptable. We've got to support the low income in our community, and it shouldn't be all money coming from the municipality. This is an Alberta issue, Alberta government issue who should be paying for it. So we need to be lobbying hard. We need to show the need, do a needs survey in our community, and show the government that we need help. Thank you.
Mike?
I know that in Wabasca and Colleen Lake and all of the other communities, homelessness is a big issue. And I think PMD must do something about it. I would like to see a partnership between the MD and the other First Nations, in particular Big Stone. I know that Big Stone has run at least 2 or 3 programs in building tiny homes. If the MD would purchase some of these homes, I think could start up and start building these homes. And then we could start solving some of the homeless issues and get people off the streets and improve their health and give them an opportunity to actually find some work.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, Darlene, you're up, since we were the last one in the lucky jar. And your dance partner will be Don. This was tough. Okay, this question is, what do you feel is the relationship between the MD staff and council?
Well, I feel our relationship is great. I'm not too sure if you mean if we get involved in anything the staff does.
I think it means more like how, what should the relationship be between staff and council?
Well, the way it is right now, it's just a professional relationship while we're at work. I don't believe we should dabble in something that MJ doesn't let us do. But there are certain issues, like if there was one of the staff members came up to me and told me they were being bullied, I would certainly bring that forward. I just brought a suggestion today, well, I had brought it forward earlier, that I really believe the staff needs some kind of protection. Because if they have a grievance, and if the grievance is against their manager, they have nowhere to go. So I think an independent group could be hired to help HR out, so that they would know the people, but they would know their problems and help them. But as far as staff and the council goes, I think it's clearly professional.
Okay, the one thing I'm going to clarify is council has only one staff member working for them, and that's the CEO. And I think the relationship between council and staff is always good, because council doesn't interfere with day-to-day operations or any business of the staff. And it's a good idea too to every so often bring in an outside company, evaluate the whole staff and council, and see if there's any way we can make improvements. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. And Larry, Marcel.
That is a good question. I think when it comes to being working with your managers and your lead hands, whatever, at times you should be able to intervene if you know that something wrong is going on. I guess I could say, I'll give you when that logging program, when you guys awarded on-job promotions, it wasn't tendered out. There's a lot of companies here that have the capacity to go get logging equipment if they see that they can make money. I'm one of them. I pay a lot of taxes. I could do that. It's when I questioned Marcel about that, which I basically told him it was a conflict of interest. Well, he said, well, I can't tell my managers what to do. I said, there's a time when you're wrong. Your manager's wrong. You better get involved because we elected you to run it smooth. So I raised hell on it. I was hated, but hey, I'm a big boy. I can handle it. So I really admire Everett. When I told him, I was mad. I was literally screaming at him. And it was awarded the whole job. They took the mulching and the grubbing away, which is a good thing. And the proper process was done that it was awarded, tendered out, and somebody else got it. Now that's how it's just. We got a lot of guys here that look every day the situation, what MD's doing. So yeah, it should always be tendered out. And if you know your brother got that job by not, we see some crooked deal going on, well, hey, that should be stopped instantly. Thank you.
All right, so I know the CAO within the MD at this point, the chain of command and following that chain of command is always something that's brought forward and made very clear to both administration and to council members as we go through. But we do live in small communities, and if a guy is, to use myself as an example, I'm walking down the road, walking my dogs down the path, and a staff member comes down and they've got something they want to discuss and stuff. We still need to be an open ear. They're still taxpayers. They're still residents of this community. You just got to be very careful as to how you approach that, and you can still take that concern and have it dealt with our one employee, which is a CAO, and go to him. And if you're not satisfied, you can take that to the council table and stuff. So it is something that we've it's not always 100%, but we understand what our rules are, what administration's rules are, but we also understand that there's a little bit of a gray area in there just due to us being a smaller MD population-wise in smaller communities where we know everybody knows everybody and we know who's connected to who, and so you make do with what you have that way. But I think the relationship that we've had and the working relationship between MD, the council, and the administration has been very healthy over this past term. We've gone through a few CAOs in the last term, and I think there's the director team and the team put in place and stuff. It has worked with the council in this last little bit that we've had in our term. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel.